All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So there's obviously been a lot of negativity surrounding this Jets team, especially in the past couple weeks. I mean, we're currently on a losing streak, dropping the game against Indy, then Buffalo, and then, of course, this past Sunday to the rival Dolphins. I mean, it's been tough. I feel like when the defense plays well, the offense struggles, and vice versa. But in this one, I wanted to try to shake things up a little bit and talk about something positive, which is the future. The future of this Jets team. If we take a look at the Jets offseason assets, it's absolutely fantastic in terms of both quantity and quality. I mean, if you take a look at some of these trades that Joe Douglas has managed to pull off, the Jamal Adams trade specifically, I mean, to be able to haul back 2 first-round picks, a starting player, and a middle-round pick for a guy, great player in Jamal Adams, but a guy who, frankly, did not want to be in New York, and a guy that really wanted to get paid. If you can alleviate that headache and net that in return, it's absolutely brilliant. You take a look at the Sam Darnold trade, and the Jets landed a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick. Okay, are you kidding me? That is crazy, crazy value. Sam Darnold, obviously a young quarterback, still has room to get better. Looked pretty good in the first 3 weeks, but since that point has been atrocious. He's been a turnover machine, and it doesn't really feel or seem like he's going to be the long-term fit in Carolina. So for Joe Douglas to, in a sense, get rid of a headache in Jamal Adams, get rid of a massive contract in Jamal Adams, or a potential massive contract, and to trade away a quarterback in Sam Darnold, a guy who was not the future in New York, and to get that draft capital, we're sitting pretty. 2 first-round picks, 2 2nd-round picks. Okay, a 3rd-round pick, which will probably be pretty high, assuming that the team continues to look how they have over these past couple of weeks. And then, of course, in the 4th round, we have another 2 picks. Okay, so the future is there. We have potential. We have these assets. And if the season were to end today, the Jets would finish in the 1st round with the 2nd overall pick and the 6th overall pick. That is absurd. And look, I gotta be honest with you. If you would have told me before the season started that we would be in late November, Thanksgiving, and the Seahawks would only have 3 wins on the year, I would have said, you're nuts. You're crazy. There's no possible way. Russell Wilson, Metcalf, Everett, Lockett. I mean, this team is talent. Who else? Jamal Adams, Pete Carroll. There's no way. I mean, maybe you guys saw this coming, maybe you called it, but admittedly, I did not see this coming. It just doesn't feel like it's perfect harmony up in Seattle. You know, we had Pete Carroll walk off, answering questions the other day. It just doesn't feel right. With that said, though, I do feel like when it's all said and done, the Jets are going to own 2 picks within the top 12. I don't really feel like it's going to be 2 picks within the top 5, top 8, anything like that. Because if you take a look at Seattle's schedule, they definitely have some winnable games down the stretch. And of course, you can push back and say, well, you didn't. I mean, Seattle's a 3-win team. I mean, you can't count anything out. They can drop those games, and I would say, hey, you're right. But the point is, these games are definitely winnable. And I actually had to pull out the old notebook here to jot down Seattle's schedule. This week, Monday Night Football, they're at home against Washington. The following week, they're at home against San Francisco. I mean, back-to-back home games here, doable. I could definitely see the Seahawks team going 1-1, possibly 2-0. The following week, they're in Houston. We know where Houston's at right now, although they did have that huge upset win against Tennessee. Then they're at the LA Rams, tough game. Then they're back at home against the Bears, and then back at home against the Lions. Again, maybe 2-0, maybe 1-1, and then they finish the season in Arizona. So at the end of the day, I don't really see the Seahawks staying with that, 6th overall pick, or I don't even really see them jumping up into the top 5 or top 4, because, I mean, we still at the end of the day have teams like the Jaguars, like the Lions, of course, the New York Jets. And by the way, the Jets schedule has just been, it's just been so hard to read. I mean, we've dropped some pretty, I don't want to say easy games, but I mean, there's been games that the Jets have looked like by far the worst team in football, and then we go out and we beat Tennessee, we go out and beat Cincinnati. So it's just one big roller coaster, one big crescendo, if you will. So it's kind of hard to pick up on what the Jets are going to do, like what their exact record's going to be. But I feel like at the end of the day, the Jets will own a top 5 pick. Again, I feel like Seattle's, excuse me, will be anywhere from pick 7 to 12. So really exciting stuff. So let's take a look at some of these draft needs for this Jets team, and there's a lot of them. Okay, so let's start with the offensive line, or really the interior offensive line. Let's lump the center and the guard position together. You know, if you're thinking, hey, we really need to upgrade this line in the first round, we can take a guy in Evan Neal, a versatile player, a guy who has a lot of experience under his belt at Alabama at multiple positions: tackle, guard. He's played on the left side of the line, the right side of the line. I mean, Evan Neal is a very safe player that we can truly use. We could take Evan Neal and plug him in at right guard, and he would be a massive help. Maybe the Jets want to take Neal and put him at right tackle. Obviously, Joe Douglas wasn't completely satisfied with only having Fant on the roster. He went out and made that move for, or signed Morgan Moses. So Morgan Moses is only on the 1-year deal. Evan Neal can come in and give you a ton of help on the offensive line and a huge upside. You can take a guy in Tyler Linderbaum at center. Okay, you can move off of Connor McGovern, his big contract, and you can essentially upgrade at the center position. Linderbaum's a perfect fit for the West Coast system. He can move well in space. He does a great job getting to the second level, and obviously has a ton of experience playing at Iowa. He's received great coaching as well. You can go out and get a Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M, a guy who can play tackle, who could play guard, really athletic, again, fits the system. Let's take a look at tight end, another position that the Jets desperately need. Ryan Griffin, Tyler Kroft, these guys are not going to be the tight ends on this football team for the next 6 years. These guys, they're not franchise tight ends, and you know that as well as I do. You can go get a Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina, a Trey McBride out of Colorado State, even a Charlie Kolar, one of my favorite players in college football. You can go snag him in the middle to late rounds. I mean, this guy is extremely underrated. I mean, he torched Oklahoma. Size, hands, strength, route running ability, blocking ability. Charlie Kolar brings a lot to a table. A true security blanket, matchup nightmare. I feel like he would be an awesome addition for Zach Wilson in this Jets offense. Let's take a look at safety. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton's kind of the headliner of this group, just an overall complete player at that safety position. I believe he is a impact player. He has the potential to be a true X factor at the NFL level. You have guys like Daxton Hill. If you don't want to really invest early in a safety, I mean, you can go get Dax Hill bottom of round 1, round 2, maybe round 3. We'll see how the combine and all that kind of stuff plays out, but Dax Hill can play. Okay, I really like him. You can go get a Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. There is talent at the safety position. We're looking at safety right now at this Jets, on this Jets roster, this Jets depth chart. Marcus May's done for the year. LaMarcus Joyner's done for the year. Joyner's on a 1-year deal. Marcus May's probably going to be with a new team. We have 2 holes to the safety position. Unfortunately, Ashton Davis was a 3rd-round pick. It doesn't really feel, back in 2020, it doesn't really feel like he's going to be a long-term option there. So, you can call it a botch pick, or, we can continue to try to let Davis grow, but I definitely feel like the safety position needs to be upgraded this offseason. Corner. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Michael Carter and Bryce Hall. Brandon Echols, I mean, there's definitely been flashes, but I definitely feel like this Jets team needs some boundary help at the cornerback position. Again, much like Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley's the headliner. He's the big marquee name. But then after Stingley, you have guys like Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati, Alontae Taylor from Tennessee, McDuffie from Washington. I mean, there's a lot. Job from Alabama. I mean, that's a guy with incredible potential, kind of having a down year, but might slip in the draft because of 2021. So I mean, that's an interesting guy to watch as well, because we all know how Saleh's reputation for developing corners. I mean, edge rusher is another position that we need some help at. Of course, the 2 big names, Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. I mean, by the way, I think Hutchinson really could be in play for this Jets team. The only thing with edge, obviously Carl Lawson would be coming back from injury. He's on that multi-year deal. We also have Shaq Lawson. Okay, we also have Bryce Huff coming back, and John Franklin Myers was personally extended by Joe Douglas on a multi-year deal. We're paying John Franklin Myers a lot of money. Okay, the production in the past couple of weeks, actually, you know what? It's been more than that. Really, since he signed that extension, it hasn't been incredible. Okay, and that's kind of putting it nicely. So I don't really know what the plan is going to be at edge. We need help. We need more talent there, but we have a lot of money invested in the position. It's strange. That's definitely one of the most concerning areas of the team for me personally heading into the offseason. But we have guys like Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. I feel like he's really underrated. George Karlaftis from Purdue. I mean, that whole family, I feel like, produces for the Boilermakers. But all in all, the point is, there's talent in this draft at massive positions of need. It's not like the Jets or the Steelers here, where we desperately need to find a quarterback and it's slim pickings as far as the draft is concerned. You know, of course, Malik Willis and Carson Strong. But then, you know, we have guys like Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Denver's another team like that. Like, they really have to nail the quarterback position. The Giants, what's happening with Daniel Jones? With the Jets, their big positions of need, again, interior offensive line, tight end, safety, there's a lot of players. There's a lot of depth in this draft. And again, circling back to the amount of picks, 2 1s, 2 2s, 1 3, 2 4ths. I mean, that's a lot of picks. That's a lot. I mean, normally we would have 4, but now we're up to 7. Okay, so this is going to be one of the most important off seasons for Joe Douglas. Cannot wait to see how it all plays out. And by the way, what comes before the draft? Free agency. We didn't even talk about that. Okay, we still have cap space. It's mind-blowing to think about. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And by the way, episode 3 of the Draft Profile series should be coming out sometime soon. I'm halfway done with it, so be on the lookout for that. And I know I kind of rambled a lot in this video, so I appreciate you bearing with me. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.